So this is an interesting story here about uh, basically a lot of discounts coming over the summer. And it's interesting because inflation has been extremely high as of late, and they're saying it's something like 8% as of right now in early June. But in reality, it's much higher than that. So why are stores having to cut prices on so much stuff? Well, this article goes into it um, a little bit, and mostly they give examples here. But what it's saying is essentially there's no demand because we're in the middle of a recession, and I know it's not officially a recession because you need 2 quarters of negative growth or shrinkage economically for that to be considered a recession, but we absolutely are, and it makes sense because um, everything that you need in life is just getting too expensive to possibly buy. So the things like gas for you to get to work if you're not working remote, uh, food, um, electricity, just those basic things are becoming so expensive with the national gas average right now at over $5 a gallon, that you really don't have that much expendable income, or the typical American doesn't have that much expendable income to buy all this crap from Target and Walmart and shit. So they're having to dump it. So for a period here, you're going to see sort of a counter inflationary trend in sort of non-essentials in retail, and it might be a good opportunity. I mean, if you have some cash on hand, but don't look at this as being something that is you know that this means inflation's stopping, because it's not. That's caused by overprinting, and they can make a million excuses for why it's happening, like oil shortages because of the Russia-Ukraine war or things like that. And it certainly contributes, but the real reason inflation is at historic highs is because we printed $3 trillion in the last 2 years. Simple as that. But I'll just get into this real briefly. They're saying Target, Walmart, and Macy's announced recently that they are starting to receive large shipments of outdoor furniture, loungewear, and electronics everyone wanted but couldn't find during the pandemic. The problem for retailers is that these goods are delayed for almost 2 years, are basically landing in a market where people are no longer that confident in wanting to buy. There are going to be discounts like you've never seen before, says Mickey Chanda, a Moody's investor service analyst who tracks the retail industry. Retailer discounts are part of an effort to get shoppers interested in buying things again as Americans shift their spending to concerts, eating out, and travel they missed out on. Deep discounts are expected on oversized couches, appliances, patio furniture that are more expensive for companies to store in their warehouses. So, like, think basically things that are just take up a lot of space for their value. Like, there's not a whole lot of dense material in them. Things that take up a lot of space. It's like, imagine your garage. If you have like I don't know, like whatever it's called, like the box part of your mattress, just sitting in there, like I do, then it's taking up a lot of space and it's mostly air. It's not worth anything. So that sort of thing will probably get discounted the most. But they're also saying that, look more for places like Target to do it because they don't have as robust of a warehousing system. Walmart is able to hold on to more of this. But the fact of the matter is I'm not really sure that people are really switching their spending to travel and all these other things they say they've missed out on. I mean, eating out, concerts, travel, you've been able to do that pretty freely for like over a year, right? I mean, I was over a year ago, I was in Cancun, not really a problem. Uh, so I don't think that's the case here. I think it's that everything's so expensive that people just can't afford to buy this shit, like patio furniture. Not to mention, people don't really feel comfortable. And people are also completely maxed out on credit cards. Consumer debt is at one of the highest levels of all time right now, if not the highest, which means if you're putting essentials on credit and maxing out your cards, uh, are you going to be buying Target shit? Probably not. So, anyways, if you do have the money for it, then this is your opportunity to probably get it at something of a discount. But this is also just a good example in the supply chain world of how people are focusing very heavily on understanding their supply chains through analytics. Basically, you know, it trying to have an exact ability to predict demand, and an ability to source cheaper and understand where everything is on its way from, say, China to the U.S. But the fact of the matter is, you're the whole just-in-time supply chain concept is kind of defunct, and you do need to carry some more inventory at this point in time because you can't tell when these disruptions are going to happen. The world is a much less stable place than it was in 2019, and all the analytics in the world aren't going to predict black swan events. So, while analytics are helpful, they do give you insights. The predictive nature of them is never going to be perfect. So, I think in the world we're moving into, we're going to have shorter supply chains, and that means producing closer to home, uh, having less modes of transport, less, you know, cross docking or whatever, like less changes of types of transportation, not like, truck to ship to truck to train or something like that. Like it needs to just be simpler and shorter and closer to demand and lower lead times. And in all honesty, some more inventory. We don't live in a perfectly predictable world, but that's this is just an indicator of how volatile it is. That in the face of just historic inflation, there's still these massive price cuts coming because it's the bullwhip effect, guys. That's all it is.